Hello, this is Dr. E. Lacaniata High School. Today I'm doing the 7th lecture for the Biodiversity Unit on Ecological Succession. In this unit, there's basically two parts of it. Ecological Succession is 2.1, where there are two types of succession, primary and secondary. The next two parts, keystone and indicator species, we're going to be talking more about that in the next unit about populations. On ERT 2.J, describe the effects of succession on ecosystems. There we need to know about what's happening with the pioneer species, what happens during primary and secondary, and so forth. So ecological succession is a series of stages of growth that a forest or location goes through after some kind of disaster. There's two types of them. One of them is a primary. That is where the land starts out as bare rock with no previous soil whatsoever, and therefore the soil has to be created. And what does that is moss and lichen, because those spores can be carried in by wind, because moss and lichen are found everywhere, generally on the north side of trees. They're carried by the wind, and they grow directly on the rocks. They have the ability to break down the rocks to help form soil. You can see here on the left of this picture that the rock, after the lichens, starts producing soil. Another type of succession is secondary succession. This is where we already have established soil. The soil has not been destroyed, but there is a disturbance of some type, such as a tornado, fire, farm, where most of the plants have been removed. This is where grasses, sedges, wildflowers, and berry bushes are the first ones to go in. They had to establish an area so that they will have enough nutrients for the larger plants to come in. Here again, you can see where you have a fire like what happened up in Angeles Crest recently, and basically there's nothing left on the ground, and therefore the small pioneer species happen, and then we go to the intermediate and the climax, what the ultimate climax, like what it's chaparral right here. Now the stages of succession are characterized by different types of plants. Different plants are adapted to different conditions. One of them that's in the pioneering portion may not be later stages. Pioneer or early species appear first when the ground is bare and there's no shade. Characteristics are these are seeds carried in by wind or off of animals. They're very, very fast growing. They're tolerant of shallow soil and full sunlight because there's no shade. Example of those are moss or lichen, wildflowers, grasses, sedges, and so forth. The mid-succession is after there's pioneers, so that there's a hold on the ground, and then there's more nutrients in there because of the plants that have been there, and then we can start getting the mid-succession plants coming in. These are really generally fast-growing, taller plants that need deeper soil that had not been destroyed by fire or whatever. They require more nutrients than pioneers, and they are still have to be sun tolerant because there's not trees in there yet. And these would be the ones in this area right in here, which would be the mid-succession, where there's starting to be shade but not significant amounts. The next stage is late succession or climax. According to the precipitation, according to the temperatures, what should be in there? They appear after the soil is deep, enriched, and has plenty of nutrients. It's characterized by large, slow-growing trees. They're tolerant of shade and require deep soil for their roots to exist. Those would be maple, oak, and other large trees. You can see here That would be these right here. And in fact, the coniferous trees here are actually before the ultimate climax community. Primary succession occurs in areas that haven't been colonized by plants. Volcanic rock, moss and lichen come in and release materials, or they release the materials like the nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium that is needed by all the plants. The chemical weathering by the moss and lichen combined with organic allow the initial shallow soil. This is the lichen, what you see there, all those colorful things, that you can also see on the north side of trees. And you can see basically right there. Secondary succession is where you already have the soil, you have sun tolerant, you've got the soil coming in, and just like I said. So if you were to look at the graph below and analyze the data, could you explain, is the spruce tree early, middle, or late in its development? Thank you, and have a great day.